I'm trying to remember, you were saying something to her. I can't remember what. No, you were asking about the water source.
Yeah, the water source. It looks like clean water.
She looks up and she said, this water was green up to a few hours ago, and it's been cleansed.
What cleansed it?
She says, I don't know. But it was as green as the rest of the water laying down here, and recently, she says, I know this water came from up north, above Hubshan, and came down, but this was like near the end of it, and this fountain was like the last bit of the water that would come from up north.
Okay.
She says, I was in the process of testing this because I've not had any water in several hours.
Well, by all means, test away. Don't let me stop you.
She's like, I've seen and heard what this water will do.
Yeah, it's nothing to be playing around with.
So she kneels and she's hovering her hand over the water.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, I guess it's better to touch this water than try to drink it first.
Okay.
So she reaches down and slowly grazes her fingertips across the top of the water, and she looks. She says, I don't feel any different. So she then slowly dips her hand into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And raises it out. It just drips. She's like, I've heard this water takes away magical ability.
It does.
And that if you're human, ingesting it will eventually kill you.
It does.
This drow woman, it's like, are you in front, or are you shielding the Empress, or are you letting her be in front of you?
Well, I would imagine on the side of her.
All right, so you're just beside. Okay, I didn't know.
Big old Black Panther. I'm sure she's pretty strong.
Oh yeah. So
I do look at her and see if she, what kind of, do I get any vibe from her?
from
Talking to this woman.
The Panther is just sort of, so she's trying to, like, she's acting very Pantherish, like she's just, she's trying not to give away the fact that she might be not a Panther,
Good.
So she's just, sort of like a cat ready to pounce.
Right.
It just,
okay.
Like that's how the Empress is. She's not being emotive or sort of doing things that.
Well, what Drow Lady of the Pond?
She's.
What's her name?
She looks at you. She looks up and down. Roll history.
Not very good. 4, 7 again.
7. you look at this female, and you know she has very, very striking black eyes, and very, very dark hair, which is sort of unusual for a drow. Usually it's white, but you know everything else about her, but it's very soft. So, but like, you know, you can tell definitely she's a drow, but she's just doesn't quite look right. But she's almost familiar. So, because when you said projet, she just sort of she looked over. So what she says, you might want to roll insight with what she says.
For what?
Well, she hasn't replied yet.
Oh.
So when she replies, you gave the name. So she's about to reply. So she says, I've heard of the name Projet. Were you not some of the heroes that liberated Hubshan several months ago?
That would be me.
So,
and my friends.
She asks, do you happen to have any of your friends with you?
I do not.
She's
I assure you, if you plan on attacking me, it will not go well for you.
She goes, I do not remember you or hearing stories being accompanied by such a great deep panther.
Okay, well, stories come and stories go and things change. I've given you my name. You've not cared to give me yours.
She goes, and she sort of looks left and right for a second. She says, my name is Skylar.
Okay, do I know Skylar?
You don't know.
Heard of it?
You don't know of anyone named Skylar that you know of.
Well, that is an unusual name, and you don't look like a normal drow. Also, can I inquire why?
She says, as I said before, my family heritage is muddied, to say the least. She says, as you know, some of us walk two paths of heritage. Do you yourself not have two paths of heritage?
I have battled those passages before, and I've come to a agreement with myself with who I am.
So she looks and she says, I have been on a similar path of accepting who I am also. And that's
the first step of being you.
She looks and she said, who would have thought a bard could be wise without speaking in jest or riddles?
Not your common bard.
She's like,
I used to be a soldier, and I've given up a soldier to be something else.
She looks at you and she says, I too was once a soldier, fighting for what was best for my family and kingdom. They said, now
you have traveled similar paths.
She says, I believe so. Skylar still, her hand is still damp and dripping from where she put her hand in the water. Mm-hmm. And she says, I guess it's time to see if I can perform magic with this hand. She said, are you interested in, I'm basically warning you that I'm going to do some type of spell. I don't want to catch you off guard.
I appreciate that.
And also
I am to seeing that myself.
And
Since you were enough to stick it down in there.
And she said, I also don't want your panther friend to come and rip me apart.
My panther will be just fine.
Again, the panther is watching intently.
I'm sure she is.
So with this,
perform your spell, and let's see if the water is clean.
So you see her wave her hand and almost in a fist and open it up, and when she opens it up, a little ball of fire appears.
Oh.
Yeah, she casts a cantrip that lights flame. It's still it's magic, and it's like and it sees it that the little bit of warmth slowly dries her hand, and dries the water away.
I'm gonna roll insight to make sure she didn't do something else. 15 plus 8.
Now that's pretty high. So, you've seen that spell done many times by Bellany. So conjure flame. It's a cantrip.
Nothing more to that. It's just a cantrip.
Technically, she could throw that at you. It's about all it can do. But it's mostly for lighting torches, lighting campfires, and just a little flame that you could throw. So the flame is in her hand, and she goes down and dips it into the water and extinguishes it. But so she goes.
Since it is a water that you knew before me, I will ask, in respect, if I could fill my water skin up with this water, because water is becoming scarce.
She steps back. She says you and your animal companion can do. She herself pulls out her water skin and fills the water up in her water skin and backs off, and she closes up and seals it tight. And so she is backed off away from the water.
So I'm pull up my water skin, and I motion to the panther to come up and get a drink. Might as well get it while you can.
Mm-hmm. So while you're filling the water, this scholar asks you, so are you coming from the city? Or are you coming from another place to the city?
I have come to talk to the Drow Queen, and now that I've succeeded in my mission, I am heading out.
So she goes, that's quite brave of you to actually talk to the Queen.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't think but my mission was successful, and they were allowing me to leave. But, I'm an adventurer, so I saw these caverns, and I thought me and my companion could just come to the caverns and see where it leads to.
Do you want to roll deception on that?
Oh my gosh, you don't believe that?
Well, you just sort of said that they let you go and some stuff like that.
Deception will be 15.
Is that with your plus 13?
No, that is 13. Oh man, I was 13. That's 20.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got a really high deception.
Yeah, I looked at that wrong. Yeah, my deception's 13.
So she sort of, you can tell that her face is sort of shocked the fact that you talk to the Empress and you live to tell about it.
Well, I can see that you have a shocked face, and I assure you, there was a deal made with the Queen and the Drow. What I'm trying to do is bring peace between my people and hers. And so there's going to be, we have come to an agreement.
You can tell she sort of has a sad look on her face. She said, I too once dreamed peace and understanding between the Drow and the Drow and the people above. I hope that
you address this also. Are you a person of my kind? I mean, not of my kind, but are you? Do you have dealings with the people above? Being a Drow.
She says, "You can say that. I've walked both worlds before."
Well, that's great.
She said, "I've walked the daylight land many years." And
do you like the daylight?
She's like, "I believe that you must have the daylight and the moonlight for the world to continue."
Okay, well, that's good enough for me. So I need to get back to my pool. Do you know a decent way to get out of these caverns? And you're welcome to tag along with us if you just like to hang and want to talk.
Roll persuasion. You can tell that like she's a little nervous.
Absolutely, I'm just you know what's coming. Get right here. Ooh, 17 plus 9.
Yeah, I want to roll against that, but I'm probably gonna definitely lose. Yeah, that's an 8. So she thinks about it and she sort of mumbles to herself, but you hear it. She's like, my task isn't done. And she's like I will guide you about how I got in. If it's Huffshine that you seek, this will only get you 30 minutes from it if you want to follow me.
Well, I do appreciate your help, and if there's something, the hag situation, I would appreciate. Shut up! Don't you like me?
Well, you do have your
appreciate your help, and I would appreciate the company.
Yeah. Well, don't forget that the panther that you just had sweet love with not long ago. You might not want to make her mad.
Yeah, but we need a way out.
Yeah. So,
I don't want to make it look like the panther's leading me out.
Yes. So do you look at the panther and say anything to the panther?
I'll look at the panther and say it'll be fine.
The panther still sort of, it looks up at you, and it sort of just lowers its head a little bit, and sort of like in submission.
I'm not going to pet her because I really don't look at her as a pet. I will put my hand on her head and be like, "This will be fine, and I will protect you."
So Skylar goes, there's a few chambers. We still need to be really careful of the water, because the water that's still through here still flows with the green.
Okay.
From the other source that feeds.
Well, I will let you creep away.
She says, recently the water stopped flowing and it's just sort of stagnated. Something happened and caused us to drain out. The city is still full of this water, but the caverns that we're going to go through used to have water, so we must be really careful not to touch it.
Yes, I know. I appreciate your concern.
So she goes over and ties a rope around the fountain.
For a tune, there's there a song that you like? Maybe I have to play it for you as we walk.
She looks and she says, "We might want like discretion and whispering might be important. These chambers are not. These chambers aren't used to loud noises. There are lots of stalagmites and stalactites that could come crashing down. Not to mention the creatures that used to dwell here because of the water, and now they've lacked water."
Okay. Well, we'll go quietly then.
So she ties a rope around this fountain and goes over, and you notice there's a big drop off. And you notice there's green water. It's like a waterfall. You know, flowing down like right here. And there's a path. So she's standing on this ledge, and she throws. It's like she's about to throw the rope down, and she says, "That's too far for your panther companion to jump without getting hurt. Can we tie and try to lower her down?"
And I'm gonna look at the panther and see what she says. Yeah, do you feel comfortable with doing this?
All right, roll animal handling to see if you can figure it out.
I don't think we get animal handling. Oh, I'm supposed to say it. Ooh, 11.
All right, well that's enough. Like you realize that like she's okay. So, I think you got a pretty good sleight of hand, don't you?
Sleight of hand, a 7.
All right, so go ahead and roll. Like you're going to be tying some knots and do some stuff. You can use sleight of hand or survival, whichever is higher, to do the rope.
And the rope is going to be a 12.
That's it. That's good enough. Roll a second time because Skylar is helping you, so you have advantage. So whichever one's the higher will be it.
11 plus 7, so 18.
Okay. So she comes around to your side, and she's like, "We must grip this rope and lower your panther down gently."
Okay.
At this point, you notice that Skylar has very strong arms and very stout and strong. Like it's just, you know, she's not manly, like in that sense,
right.
But she's like,
Feel.
yeah, like you can tell that she's, yeah, that you wouldn't want to get hit by the sword she's carrying.
So, that's a nice sword. Where would you have that made? You know the blacksmith of it?
She said, "This sword was given to me recently, by two companions that helped set me on a new journey."
Oh. Well, we are all on journeys, aren't we?
She's like, some are longer than others, but I feel like I've been on my journey almost my entire life to lead me to here.
Okay. Well, that's a fine sword. Who gave it to you? And you seem like you would know how to use it.
So she looks and she's a little pensive about answering. Do persuasion, you might be able to convince her to actually tell you the name of the person that gave it to her.
Persuasion is what I do. 18.
18 total?
Mm-hmm.
So.
9 plus 9.
Well, yeah, that's 18. She looks and she says, "I believe the person that gave this to me might be an acquaintance of yours."
Oh, really?
I
do. Quite a few people.
I've remembered seeing you with them when I've seen you in town. in Hubshine. I believe his name was Slick.
I do know Slick. The Slick knows you, and he gave you that sword.
Yes, like I recently helped him on something he was doing.
Do I recognize the sword?
No, the sword. It's sort of a generic looking sword. It's a nice sword, but it's nothing spectacular. But
are you a warrior of sorts? And we're still lowering the panther, right?
okay, well, so you're about to lower it. So now this is where it's crazy. Like you're going to have to do an athletics check, and so is she. And
You know, I'm not. A 10 for athletics.
well, that's average, so 10's not awful. She rolls a 19 on strength. So
Good.
so she realizes you're having trouble. Roll again because she's doing the help action.
Well, what am I adding?
Just you get advantage, so you're going to take the highest of the two athletics.
Okay, so this time 18, 15 plus 3.
Oh well, then you two lower the panther down without any trouble. So
the panther's kind of at a. She's down below us, right?
yep, she's down. It's down below. It's about 40 feet or so.
I'm gonna take out my drow dagger without the queen seeing it, and I'm gonna hand it to her and be like, "I think this might serve you better than it will me. This is a dagger of your kind." And I'll offer it to her.
Okay.
For helping.
She says Alamite dagger. It's like that's a quite a interesting gift you've given me.
Well, I appreciate your help.
So she puts it in her belt above, on the same side above the long sword that she has.
And I hope it serves you well.
So she said thank you. Someday I might be able to.
I was for a reason. I knew I was.
She said hopefully I can repay your kindness. She says
and to let you know, that was not taken off any dead drow. This is something I come across in all the adventures I've been in. I assure you, this was found.
She believes you. So she's like, she's like, I'm going to climb down the rope. And if you happen to not make it down, I will be there to catch you. So,
I'll take that.
Okay, so I'm rolling acrobatics, or you can use acrobatics or strength to go down the rope. So
Acrobatics better.
Yeah, so you can do either or. It's just if you roll below a 10, you could fall.
18 plus 5 for acrobat.
All right. Well, you get down without any problems.
Just jump down it, bro.
So you made it down. You noticed that there is a waterfall of green
goo
coming down, and there's some of those glowing rocks from the Underdark that glow. The green water, it's almost like it pulls the light over, but it doesn't. The green water, it does not extinguish them because it's a natural thing, but but it like the water glows.
Okay.
So the panther is sort of staying away from it. So Skylar looks, and you notice that you climb down, and when you look up what you climbed, there were like great, almost tree branches and other stuff that could have been climbed up, but it had been very difficult climbing it down. So
that's what my next question was going to be. How did she get up there if we tied the rope?
Yeah. Well,
that's how she got up.
Yeah. Well, the rope's been left, but if you were strong enough, and you know this using your passive insight, you know that this Skylar is strong. And she doesn't really have any armor on. She's just got some clothes with her belt and this sword.
Okay.
And so she goes from here. So we must cross the old damaged ship.
Following you.
So she's over, and then she's on the edge of a rock. I don't know, like there's green water flowing over this boat. Is going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So you must jump to get into the boat. So she looks. And goes, I could go first, or I could be willing to help you jump across. It's like,
no, it don't hurt my feelings. I'll let you help me.
So, all right.
You can handle yourself very well.
All right. She says, I don't mind to help.
It hurt my feelings.
So, well, like right now, the panther is watching her. So at least you're being watched.
That's true.
Too. So she says, all right, I will help you. So she puts her hand down so you can step in your hand, and she's going to hoist you while you jump.
Okay.
To extend the distance. Go ahead and roll athletics, or whichever's better. Acrobatics, athletics.
15 plus 5, 21.
Well, that's good. So she hoists you and you throw. You actually get really far and you land halfway into the boat. The boat is creaking. Do a dex save to see if you land on your feet. Just straight dex. It's not. You will not fall into the water unless you would roll like a 1 somehow.
A what, bro?
A dexterity. Just a dex save. It's not a skill. It's just straight dex.
The roll is a 6.
Is that okay?
You said there wasn't nothing to it.
Yeah. So, you do end up landing and falling because the boat.
Yeah, then my foot didn't go through or anything.
No. So luckily, like it's sort of washed up right there, but it's enough for you to get up. You didn't take any damage or anything like that, but it's just a little bit of a scare.
Cool.
So, do you clear off the boat to the other side?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's not put too much weight on that thing.
Oh, that's a smart call. At this point, Skylar steps over your panther. Do you want to roll for the panther, or you want me to roll?
I'll roll.
So the panther has a +6 on its acrobats.
I got an 8 on the roll.
Yeah, that gets over there. So the panther's on. Like all cats, they land on their feet.
Yep.
So, but the boat's rocking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So the panther jumps off and is on your side. When it jumps off the boat, though, something happens. And the boat lodges and gives way and floats downstream.
Oh, crap. Well, she found the water. She did.
It was close. Actually, it was not actually the water where I dumped it on, which was funny.
So the boat's done. What's the feet to the shore to shore? Bank to bank.
15 feet. It's not impossible.
I'm gonna tell her as she jumps. I'm gonna give her a bardic inspiration.
Okay, so you're gonna give her a bardic.
I just did.
All right, I'm going to roll athletics because that's hers. She's got a +5. Oh, I rolled an 8, but +5, so that's a 13. Tell me what the bardic inspiration does.
As a bonus action, a creature other than you within 60 feet that can hear you. Inspiration die of 1d8.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll the d8.
Is an 8. Wow. It's an 8.
Wow. Well, that definitely gets her across. She makes it. So she just needed 2 to make it. So she's on. So she's made it across.
Okay, good.
She's like, well, hopefully I can make it back across when I come back.
Well, hopefully you might not have to. Just as we walk, I'm gonna talk to her about staying with us in the fog and maybe helping us through these difficult times that we're getting ready to go through with the Drow. And maybe she could be an ambassador of sorts. Or something.
She talks about how she doesn't know if the Drow would really listen to her or your people would really listen to her either.
I'm like, lady, listen, I have my own fort, and you can stay there for as long as you want, and you can be comfortable until you're done with this journey or you go on to another journey. Which you're welcome at my place and my provisions.
She says she does appreciate the sentiment. So you're walking through these tunnels. There's a bunch of water next to you, of course. You come to some like little glowing path. She's like there's a big chamber on the way out up here. So she goes through. Do you follow her? I'm assuming.
Yes.
So
as a father, I'm gonna whisper into the Queen's ear and be like, Your Highness, and it's gonna be quiet. You have no worries. You are far prettier than she could ever be.
Okay. So Dane. So I'm sorry. Skylar is here, and you see like there's a dark, like a moonlight shining through.
Mm-hmm.
So you made this far, and she's like, the sun will be up soon. There are still Drow patrol and human patrols up, moving around.
Okay.
Be real careful. I've not seen too many people take kindly to the Dark Panthers above ground. She looks and says, "Projet, I can go no further. I appreciate your offer. But it's like I have too much to do to continue my redemption here. I hope one day that we do get to meet again."
I should hope so. And you're welcome to my fob. It's the Lightbringer fob. You're welcome to it whenever you need a rest.
Mm-hmm. She like Skylar sort of chuckles. She says, "So it was named after Lightbringer, was it?"
You know an awful lot of my people.
She said, "I've been quite a busy in Hubshan for many years, in and out, and there are, it's like it pays to know important people and what's going on in your town, does it not?"
I could agree.
And she goes, "You must hurry. I'm sure that Queen Ava needs you soon."
Okay.
So do you and the Panther head topside?
I just have one question for you, Skylar. You seem to know a lot about what's going on. And as I guess you are aware of, there's a lot of delicateness going on with the Drow and my people in Queen Ava. And all this is starting anew. Are you helping, or are you going to be hurting this alliance that I am trying to build? Oh no.
She goes, "I will it's like I will serve the greater good as I always have." You can roll insight on that if you wish.
I am. I have to go back to it. I gotta go here in a minute.
Well, we're almost done.
Okay. Insight 13 plus 8.
Well, you believe her that there's no lie in her sharp features with her eyes looking directly at you. Like there's no wavering in it.
Is she confident again now?
Yes.
Is she looking at me?
Yes. She didn't look away. She looked right. She looked right at you.
Okay. Well, on that, I bid you farewell. Hope to get to see you again on good terms.
So, the sun's starting to come up. So you'll.
Is she gonna be all right, even in animal form? Is she gonna be all right in the sun?
Yeah, it doesn't really affect her that much.
Okay.
It affects her a little bit. She doesn't see as good.
Right.
But it's still like that's really about it. It's just
okay.
So you leave the cave and the sun's coming up. So do you do anything after you've left, or Or you just...
So we're walking out. I'll look back and say, well, Scholar, since you are a person that means the getting around, there's going to be a duel coming up here soon between a dragon I know and their dragon for this alliance. You're welcome to come and watch, if you so wish.
Did you just say that, or did you turn back and try to see her, or did you just say that?
Turn back to see if she's still there to tell her about the duel.
Okay. All right. Roll history.
History.
Yep. You look back and you see Skylar standing in the mouth of the cave entrance that you just left from.
Mm-hmm.
But she no longer looks like a drow. She looks like a person in the sunlight.
What?
You know, she looks human, but you can't see her very well because it's, you know, sort of like there, but she no longer has the blue gray skin.
Okay, scratch that. So I look back and see that and I'm gonna say, Skylar. And I looked her right in the face and said, I'm gonna say, there's more to you than the eyes can see, isn't there?
So you can barely see her with the sun sort of touching.
Yeah.
And so she starts stepping away to where you can't see her into the shadows, and and she just says, we all have things that not everyone knows. Just know that I was once called the Breaker of the Night, and disappeared.
The Bright Night. Well, that's freaking great. Okay. And I look at the panther and see what her reaction is.
Well, like she's like staring intently, like big eyes, but do a animal handling to see if you can get more of a read on it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Come on, I need a good roll here. Heck yeah. 19 plus 6. No, 16 plus 6.
Well, still, that's still a lot. Like it's almost like a thing of shock. There's no anger in his face. It's just like, you know, it's.
Mm-hmm. But she knows something about it.
Yes, so like it's something is went ding ding ding.
Right. Well, we're gonna put that on the back burner for the moment, because I gotta figure out what. And I'm gonna look at her and I'll be like, I can see that something is amiss, and you recognize that name. But let's turn to immediate matters and get you back to yourself. Even though you do make a beautiful panther, I would like to see you back on your own too, and I am deeply sorry for this. But let's get the help that you need first. We got too many things going on to worry about that.
And she nods. So where do you go? Do you go to the fob, or are you going to try to go to the to the palace?
I would feel better taking her to my fob in the palace right now.
Okay.
Let's go to the fob, and then I'll try to make contact with Nick there.
Okay.
Somehow, in a messenger or something.
So. Okay. So you've So you're gonna head to the fob. Are you trying to hide on the way there? Are you trying to be careful, or you just trying to get in a rut? You're like, we need to get there.
Oh no, we want to get there.
Okay.
So we're going to have speed on our side here.
Yeah. So it's not.
The sun's coming up, so the drow's going to be underground. We're not going to worry about the drow.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about the drow.
But light might be hurting our eyes. Let's just get to the fog so we can get there.
So okay. So and with that, you all take off, make haste. If you just want to roll a dexterity saving throw, that's going to let me know how fast you got there.
16.
Great, that's moving pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'll tie that into what happens next. And with that,
that's some interesting crap. What's going on with that chick?
So I guess you will find out soon.